Yes, sir. Welcome back to the second segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Also, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram TV. Let me go back through those in order because I got to make sure I give props to where props is due. So that, of course, is going to be for Facebook for the BGC Sports Network, Facebook for the Shakeback Media Group, Facebook for the Sports Empire Network, YouTube for the Shakeback Media Group, YouTube for the Sports Empire Network, Twitter for the Shakeback Media Group, as well as Instagram TV for the Shakeback Media Group. Thank you, guys. We welcome you back in. It's your boy, Willie F.T. Jr. holding it down. Rolling solo, man, through another episode of Playoff Baseball. We off in the first segment talking about those Cleveland Guardians, and they're off to face the New York Yankees, their perennial nemesis, not only in the regular season, but also in the postseason. So we're going to get to that here in just a second. Before we move any further, though, this second segment, it is being brought to you by Amber Knight. Like a good neighbor, Amber Knight is there of State Farm Insurance to take care of you. She is there to provide simple, personalized, and caring service with the insurance and financial services the people of Ardmore, Oklahoma not only need, but they deserve. Contact Amber today, 580-223-0391. Again, that's 580-223-0391. When you want the real deal, call Amber Knight today or tonight or tomorrow or next week. Just call her and tell her that your boy from the Shakeback Media Group, the hashtag Brothers of Baseball, and the Big Game Christian Sports Network told you to holler at her so y'all can set it off on your financial services and insurance needs. Okay, so let's get back to the baseball things on the diamond. As we were discussing in the first segment, Cleveland has gone on to, or they went on to defeat the Tampa Bay Rays 2-0. And in that series, the Rays scored a total of 1 game, and Cleveland really wasn't that much more effective offense. They scored 3 games, but timely pitching and from a rotation that features Shane Bieber as well as Tristan McKenzie. Those two dudes are pitching as well as anybody in Major League Baseball. And when you couple that along with the fact that the Guardians have one of the better bullpens, and if not the top closer in the American League, that all fits together for a lineup that can put runs on the board in just enough fashion. So they got their work cut out in front of them as they prepare to take on those Yankees. We're going to get to that here in the second here in this segment actually. So in terms of the final wild card wrap up, that of course was the San Diego Padres, who went all the way to the Big Apple and beat a 101 win New York Met team. And it wasn't even close, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I know it went 3 games, and I know I know that the Mets put up a valiant effort in game 3, but it just was not meant to be for whatever reason. And this has to be somewhat of a monumental upset in my eyes, because the Padres clearly, to me, did not have the better team. They didn't have the better lineup. They did not have the better starting rotation. You could argue with the bullpen, but in terms of who's more talented, this obviously was a Mets. I'm just going to say it. It was a Mets failure. That's what it was. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Scherzer, he started the first game, of course, and they got to him early and often. I think he gave up 4 home runs in that 7-1 loss in that first game. But I think there was just something off about Scherzer the last, several starts of the season for him. Now, he had been battling injuries, of course, all year long, rather. But still, I mean, this team obviously disappointed a lot of us in the playoffs. As I tweeted at Shakeback Media Group on Sunday, that my second adopted team, the party's over. And that's what it was. I was really, really pulling for those guys for various reasons, especially when you don't have a dog and a horse, or a dog and or horse in the race. You can kind of just flip teams from here and there, and that is exactly what that was. So in the first game, of course, the Mets fell 7-1. Scherzer gave up, all those bombs. Oh, just crazy. You Darvish. Can we give you Darvish some love? This dude, man, had been written off by so many people, okay, myself included. When he was with the Dodgers, when he was with the Cubs, when he was here in Texas with the Rangers, he was wrote off in all those places. And he gets to San Diego, and he's better than he's ever been. Now, Yu Darvish was always that pitcher that had like 7 or 8 different throws he could go to get you out. And now, from what I was told or from what I heard that night of the second game on Saturday night, the way that he prepares between starts, he has improved that. Obviously, it has helped his endurance and his functionality as well as his mechanics. And look, we need to get that dude some love, man. We need to get to go up against Max Scherzer in New York and come out with the victory. Yeah, it's something to be said about that. Okay, then in game 2 on Saturday, the Mets did come back with Jacob deGrom getting the win there, 7-3. At that point, you're thinking that Chris Bassett, the former Oakland A, will come through for the Mets, but it didn't happen. It did not happen. Joe Musgrove has been very, very good all year. And they combined, they being the the Padres pitching staff combined to give up 1 hit to that lineup. 1 hit. 1 hit. Josh Hader, who we have written off as well, comes in and gets the save. You know, Suarez pitches 1 inning, Hader pitches the 9th, and boom, there you have it. But for 1 hit, just 1, absolutely sensational. So now the San Diego Padres head back out west to take on the Dodgers in the LDS. And we're going to talk about the LDS starting right now because why not? So, as we know, the Dodgers and the Padres are both in the same division. How did they get here? We just mentioned the San Diego Padres, the 6th seed. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the number 1 overall seed. They only won 104,000 games this year. What they go 111-51. Won the NL West for the 9th straight year. They actually won this division, had the thing wrapped up, I want to say by the middle of August. 22 games ahead of San Diego for second place. They took 14 of 19 from the Padres all year. And in 7 of those games, ladies and gentlemen, the Dodgers put a 10 spot on the board in half of the wins. That is ridiculous. That is actually had 10 or more runs in 7 of half of those wins. But it wasn't even really that close. And then, the Padres made some moves at the deadline. They did get Hader. They did get Juan Soto. Juan Soto has not lived up they thought that he would be. But at the time that the Padres actually got him, it was all she wrote. I mean, it just was just that they were not going to come close to catching the Dodgers or even making a dent in that lead that they had put up there. So here we have it. So the first 2 games will be in Los Angeles. The second 2 games, or I should say, the third game in San Diego. The 4th game, if necessary, will be in San Diego. And the 5th game, if necessary, will be back in Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. But I don't believe it's going to get that far. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys this right now. This is what I have happening in the series. I have staked myself to a couple of points that I want to talk about in each of these series. Now, who has the advantage? Lineup wise, Dodgers. Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Justin Turner, Freddie Freeman, who, oh, by the way, won a World Series last year with the Atlanta Braves and was in the conversation for MVP again this year. Yeah, give me that lineup over a lineup that features, of course, Manny Machado, who's had an MVP type season. Juan Soto did come over at the break or at the deadline. Also, they did get Josh Bell in that same deal from the Nationals. Josh Bell actually hit a dinger off of Max Scherzer, opposite field shot that seemed like it reached the moon. But give me advantage Dodgers for the lineup. Starting pitching, Yu Darvish, like I said just a minute ago, he pitched very well throughout the year. Musgrove is very good. He did his thing in the second game. But beyond that, I don't know who else would scare me if I'm the Dodgers. And if you're the Dodgers, man, you got Rios and you've got so many other guys. I mean, of course, Dustin May has been gone. Walker has been gone. Clayton Kershaw's been gone. You know what? I'm gonna say, give me the advantage. Give me the advantage for the Padres, for real, in starting pitching. Bullpen. Let's go with the Dodgers bullpen because no longer do they have Kenley Jansen. Okay. And I'm not sold on Josh Hader closing it down whatsoever. I mean, he's been torched and touched on many occasions this year. So with that being said, I got the bullpen advantage going to the Dodgers as well. Manager advantage. I love Bob Melvin from the Oakland A's when he was there. He never could get us over the hump, but I got to go with Dave Roberts as the manager advantage for this one. He's already been to two World Series and won one of them. Had a team last year that won over 100 games that lost to the Atlanta Braves, very hot Atlanta Braves at that time. And it's just what it is. So Bob Melvin, even though I love you, I got to give this to Dave Roberts. Okay. 6 minutes left to go in this segment. The next series we're going to talk about is the Philadelphia Phillies against the Atlanta Braves. How about this? Both series feature division rivals. That's never happened in Major League Baseball history. Then again, we've never had this format in Major League Baseball. But in terms of how stout these two divisions were, you got to remember there's two teams that made it from the National League West, and there's three teams that made it from the National League East to include the defending world champion Atlanta Braves. They won their sixth consecutive National League East crown. They welcome in the Philadelphia Phillies. Who has the advantage? Well, let's talk about the series a little bit. Atlanta took the season series 11-8. What I was really most impressed about Philadelphia is the fact that they did not fold at the time that we usually see them fold, which is in August into September. They did not do that this time. Bryce Harper was out a great deal, and I'm not saying that the reason why they didn't fold was because he didn't play. What I am saying is that those other guys on that team and in that lineup, to include Rhys Hoskins and JT Realmuto and so many others, I mean, they were able to put it together and really just step up and help out with the production there. Lineup. When you talk about the lineups, man, I'm like, yo, okay. So if you are the Atlanta Braves, right? You already have Ronald Acuna Jr. You already have Matt Olson. You already have Dansby Swanson. You already have Austin Riley, who they actually just signed to a new deal. So you look at it from the standpoint of this. And remember, Ronald Acuna Jr. missed the first of the year. Let me read these numbers off to you. 38, 34, 25, 23, 20. That is the amount of home runs from Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Dansby Swanson, Marcell Ozuna, who got in trouble a couple years ago, and Wilson Contreras, of course, who they got over in the trade at the deadline as well. Ronald Acuna Jr. finished with 15 home runs, but again, he only played in 119 games. So switch gears to the Philadelphia Phillies lineup, okay? And I'm not saying that the Philadelphia Phillies lineup is bad, not by any stretch of the imagination. You have Kyle Schwarber, led the National League in home runs, 46. Rhys Hoskins, second on the team in home runs with 30. But really from there, after Realmuto, it's not anywhere close to what the Braves are able to put out there. So with that being said, how can I not go with the advantage to the Braves with the lineup? Now, let's go to starting pitching because the rotations for each team, I'm telling you right now, I love Zach Wheeler from the Phillies. I love Aaron Nola from the Phillies. What those two guys have done is spearhead that rotation. and Kyle Gibson has been a bit of a contributor as well, as has Ranger Suarez. Now, all 4 of these guys have double digit wins, and even though Aaron Nola had a losing record, 2.5 ERA was actually second best among those guys. So not bad. And then Zach Wheeler and Nola did very well in the wild card round against the St. Louis Cardinals. So let's switch it over to the Atlanta Braves and see what we're looking like over there. Now, the Atlanta Braves have so many arms they could throw at you. So many arms. Remember Charlie Morton when he was with Tampa Bay and when he was also with the Astros? Yeah, they got him. You know Spencer Strider, the dude that has over 200 strikeouts, they just signed to I think it was a 9-year or 8-year, $70-something million contract extension. He's only a rookie, okay? He led the team in strikeouts with 200. I'm sorry, actually, he did not lead the team in strikeouts, but he was second. But then you have Kyle Wright. Who is Kyle Wright? Nobody knows who this dude is, right? 21-5. He's probably going to win the Cy Young Award for the National League. And then you have Max Fried, 14-7 overall, 2.48 ERA, 170 strikeouts, and an opponent batting average that's just kind of sick, 225. And when you look at it from the standpoint of this, Ian Anderson, Max Fried, Kyle Wright, Spencer Strider, they have a combined total of 24 plus 33 is 57 wins between the 4 of those guys. Give me advantage, Braves, all day in the actual rotation. And then for the bullpen, this was for both of these squads, man, coming into the last several years. Of course, the Braves, they shored up their bullpen a couple years ago. Obviously, the Phillies have done so this year. Kenley Jansen is there. He could record 41 saves and 48 opportunities. He doesn't have the same stuff that he did when he was in LA, but more than serviceable. So 192 batting average, opponent giving up. So, and for the Phillies, I mean, not to say again that their bullpen is terrible. They actually did make some market improvements, but theirs is more of a closer by committee. So you have Corey Knebel and Brad Hand, who really are the anchors of that, with Dominguez pitching in as well. I'm gonna go advantage Braves once again, due to I just don't really trust the Phillies bullpen and what they've shown us over the last few years. Okay, we are winding down the second segment. Thank you guys out there once again for checking us out on Instagram Live, as well as the YouTube channel for the Shakeback Media Group and Sports Empire Network, as well as the Facebook page for the Shakeback Media Group and Sports Empire Network and BGC Sports Network. Come on back here on the side. We're going to finish up this Willie Epstein Jr. #BrothersOfBaseball. Y'all coming back and holler at us.